Hello, so we're here today in Tavistock in my constituency of Torridge and West Devon, here for our first major question time of the general election campaign here at the Wharf. There's Geoffrey Cox from the Conservatives, Adam from the Liberal Democrats, and we've got the Green and UKIP candidates too. So let's go in there, let's tackle them on the issues, and let's shout the Labour message and get it out loud. Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darren Jones and I'm the Labour candidate here in Torridge and West Devon. And like Geoffrey, I'm not going to try and whiz through the Labour Party manifesto in 5 minutes. But what I will put to you today is that what we face at this election is a very important fundamental question. The fundamental question is about which direction we want our country to go. We have just come through a global recession which we must deal with. The Labour Party solution to this is to halve the deficit within 4 years, but ensuring that we do so by protecting public services, by protecting people, and about making it as fair as possible to all of those across society. The risk that we face is by going through a Conservative government in this country, is by going through their harsh and quicker public cuts, and going into the potential of a double-dip recession. The annex to that fundamental question is how we want our communities to work. We have been criticised for having a state approach as the Labour government, but what we are doing is we are assisting communities, and we will continue to be progressive in trying to assist those communities to support themselves and to take their own decisions. But what we face is by pulling back that support to the individual, goes back to the solutions of before 97, when actually in the communities where we have proactive and skilled people to deal with that, that is fine. But in the areas where we do not, and where there is no support, public services will crash. Do we really want to go back to a time when local NHS authorities are making you wait up to 2 years for a hip replacement, for example? I do not think that we do. And why am I here as a Labour candidate standing in Torridge and West Devon and speaking to you today in Tavistock? We may not have had the history in this constituency that we have had with the other parties. But my message to you is that there is a viable candidate, there is a viable option to join us in the fourth term Labour government in order to secure that future, in order to take a controlled and safe approach to dealing with the deficit and bringing us through the remainder of the recession and to secure a progressive future for us all. These are the fundamental questions. We have the policies that are fair, that are correct, that will develop and will provide the solutions that we need. Hopefully this evening we'll be able to talk a bit more in detail about those policies, but those are the key messages you must question. This country faces either a Labour or a Conservative government on May the 6th. One way will lead us into an unknown, will lead us into an uncosted future that may take us back into very difficult times. One way will lead us to a fairer future for us all. Thank you. Clearly going to be a vote for a future that is fair for all, hence the slogan we're using in our election, where the priority of our decisions is yes, making the tough decisions, and yes, getting Britain back to where it needs to be, but at the heart of that, making sure that we make the decisions that protect this country and its services and create that future that is fair for most of us throughout the UK. So this evening is now finished. It was jolly good fun, some very difficult questions on inheritance tax, income tax, all of the taxation policies that we've been talking about in the election campaign and how we're going to pay off the very large deficit that we have as a country. The UKIP candidate was awfully good fun, policies completely wacky, but awfully good fun nonetheless. We even sadly had some BNP members in the audience, which I tackled to their questions and hopefully put them to rights. We had a clap from the audience as well, which was good. And all in all, a very enjoyable evening. We spoke about Labour Party policy, and I think actually that a lot of it made good sense. We had a good response from the audience. Of course, there was a lot of Conservative and Liberal Democrat support there because they would have been drafted in. You could tell by their stickers. But all in all, I think a very successful evening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.